'Tis the season for festive football, and the best way to watch it? Down at your local Green King Sports pub, of course. After all, Christmas is a time to catch up with friends, old and new. So get the team to your local for refreshing pints, delicious food, and live action of every Christmas cracker. Every fixture from TNT, Sky, Amazon is live at Green King Sports. That means wall-to-wall action on our huge HD screens. Head to your local Green King and watch every winning goal, top bins, volley and dodgy VAR decision in an atmosphere worth sharing. Download the Green King Sports app and you'll get 10% off drinks every time the sport's on telly.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the 1878 FM podcast. That is episode 18. And I am back in the hot seat. Ill last week. Ned apparently come in and said something like it's his show or something. People were messaging me. I don't know what he was going on about. He's been put right. He's back over there up the way in the cupboard like Harry Potter.
He made it his own.
Fair play.
I would say that he took his opportunity, you know, and sometimes you have to do that. You get these opportunities that come around in life and you're not sure where the next one's going to come from and you have to seize it. And I think he did.
Fair play to him. Fair play to him. Very much the Michael Keane of the squad. Yes, he's waiting patiently. That's what Michael Keane's doing right now, waiting for his opportunity. That's it. He's Dan Juma. He doesn't really want to. He's not really interested. No.
For the money, innit?
No. I think you're being unfair on Dan Juma. I think he's far more motivated than Ned. Dave, it's we didn't speak last week, but before we get on to how it's just great to support a team that actually wins football matches, a little bone, small bone to pick with you.
Go on then, small bone.
You know, small bone, Willie Smallbone, Scottish footballer. Ped, so there you go. You were up in the pool of life and you fully swerved our studio and me and Ped. That's fine. But I must say it did cut a little bit. It did hurt a little bit, the fact that we'd done a podcast that week and you didn't give us a heads up that you were going to be around our neck of the woods. Not that your schedule was tight. I get it. We understand it. You were with your work friends. You wouldn't have wanted to embarrass yourself by associating with me and Ped. We get that. But it just felt a little touch of a betrayal finding out the way we did. I'll be honest. So
well, listen,
explain yourself.
I thought this might be the case, and I thought that it might result in some kind of Andrew Bush-style kangaroo court. And I've been fully ready to be on the receiving end of this. So let's deal with this now. Truth be told, I completely forgot to let you know on the week that we were recording that we were in Liverpool that week. It was a busy week, and I should have mentioned it, and I didn't. And the reality was, it was a flying visit. I arrived at tea time on the Thursday. We were straight out for drinks and dinner, and then more drinks, and then woke up the next morning, had some breakfast, and then got on the road, and then I was away. And so that was it. And bar a little quick trip to Bramley Moor to take some photographs of the new stadium, which was very exciting. That was it. And I was away because I was on a working day on the Thursday and on a working day on the Friday. So apologies that I wasn't able to drop in, but as you say, schedule did not allow.
Okay, I've asked, and if you're happy with your response there, then that's fine. That's fine. We're not in a position to judge. It's on you. Like I said, I wasn't angry. There was no anger. We were just a little bit disappointed and a little bit.
Well, listen. No one is more disappointed than me. Okay. So you know. What did
you make of Bramley Moor seeing the progress like up close and personal?
I genuinely mentioned this last week. I genuinely was really, really excited by it because, I mean, listen, it helped. It was a beautiful day as well for taking pictures. But yeah, it's the first time, you know, I've obviously kept up to date with all of the stuff on YouTube and all of the pictures that people like yourselves and other fans and other sort of groups have put on there. But to actually see it in reality and actually see the enormity of it, and it is enormous and it looks great, was just really, really exciting. So I was saying to the lads last week, I wandered into an area which very clearly said that you weren't allowed to take photographs and no social media action, but seeing as how nobody stopped me, I decided to cross that threshold
you've
and
got
take
it.
a couple of snaps anyway and take my chances. And nobody took my phone off me or threw it in the river. So
bonus.
I emerged with photographs to put onto said social media, even though it told me not to.
It feels like the real portrayal, Dave, is from Baz. If I'm honest, because we did have this conversation last week, and it feels like Baz just didn't listen.
I wasn't gonna listen.
So it feels like the real portrayal has come from
not really
from Baz,
because once I was informed that Ned had said it was his own, then I didn't feel like it was my place to listen or critique.
I don't actually remember him saying that, but
I got
quite a lot.
I got 4 different messages. So
4 different messages.
There you go, from people who
4 different people
who normally don't care.
So angry.
Yeah, they weren't
so
happy.
angry.
3 of them, I'll be honest, were very disappointed I wasn't on it. That's just the way it is, isn't it? If you fail a fitness test, you fail a fitness test, don't you? Get on with it. Get on with it.
Oh, wrong one.
I mean, I'll be honest, it could have been either of those. It could have been either of those. Let's get on quickly. Dave, you recorded before the Newcastle game, so obviously very buoyant after Dwight McNeil's tremendous left foot arrow. At Forest got us the 3 points, and since then we have beaten 2 of the richest clubs in world football, 5-0 on aggregate at Goodison Park, with 2 good performances, both 2 slightly different performances, I must say, but the outcome the same. 3 clean sheets in a week, 9 points in 8 days, and things are looking up for the Blue Boys. 9 wins in 12. Explain.
I mean, I would go one stage further than the word good performances, because I think they were excellent performances. I mean, really, across the board, to a man. I think there's been some real warriors out there and some great, displays all across, front to back. I mean, listen, Mikalenko, who we all know has not been top of my favourites list for a while, and we've spoken about him a lot and how I was pissed off when we lost Luka Dean. But I tell you what, Mikalenko of late has been outstanding.
Yeah,
absolutely outstanding. But but there's been so many good performances in there. Branthwaite has been epic, and Tarkowski's been a warrior at the back, and I mean, honestly, so many good performances. And to have got the results that they have done, I think they thoroughly deserve. Now, if you want to look at it, yes, Newcastle were far from the team that they have been of late. I'm not taking, anything against or any sort of shine off our performance. I thought we were excellent. I thought they were poor. That obviously translated into the result as it was. And you're never quite sure which Chelsea team's going to turn up. Unfortunately for us, it wasn't their best team, but I thought we were superb and thoroughly deserved the win. And it would be very, very Everton to go to Burnley on Saturday and lose 1-0. I mean, that would be what the script would suggest. But listen, take nothing away from them. That's 3 wins on the bounce, 9 points of the 10 back already. Is some return. And when you think about it, obviously since the points got taken away, we obviously lost to Man United. It wasn't a 3-0 feat for me. And plus also, as we discussed before, had it not been for that wonder goal so early on, it could have been a different thing. And we created chances all the way through that game. I thought 3-0 was a bit harsh on us. But since then, to have then got 9 points out of the 10 back is superb. And I feel chuffed and proud and buoyant. And yeah, life is good.
Ped, I mean, the biggest thing as well, not the biggest thing, but a big bonus of that is that just a few short weeks after getting the 10 points deduction, and don't forget, we were bottom of the league before we kicked off against Forest, to be back out the bottom 3 and have a 4-point gap as well, it's massive, isn't it? Yeah,
and it's just about keeping that up now, isn't it? It's about keeping out of that bottom 3 and making headway for the teams above us, and I think that's the most important thing now, is looking at Forest, looking at Palace and saying, right, let's chase them down. Point behind Forest. Let's get them into the mix. Let's drag them into it. And that's the way, certainly, I think fans, you want something to catch, don't you? You want to feel like if you win the next game, it can take you up a couple of places. I think that's the same for players, I'd imagine, as well. Always something above you can grab onto. Start getting in that mix again.
Forest play Spurs on Friday night at the City Ground. Tottenham have just had a good win. So
So you looking at it like that, and you're thinking, right, if you can catch them, that's another one you're putting behind you, and then everything then is. We've got listen. We will always talk about the 10 points. How can you not talk about the 10 points? We'd be, Dave just, talking about Chelsea. We were above Chelsea going into the game, and we should be 4 points
clear
if we had the 10 points in form. I mean, and we've won 4 more points than they have this season, even though the table doesn't reflect it at this moment. So it's about just keeping those teams and trying to catch them and trying to get ahead of them. And I think, if we can do that, then we won't be looking over our shoulder as much, and we will be looking forward as much as we can. Just create that space between us and those teams. And if we do get some points back, that'll be a bonus. That'll push us further up. But you can see everything's heading in the right direction. I think the most important thing at the moment is that we do look a decent team. We do look balanced. And again, something Dave said there about Newcastle, about and everyone said it. Well, they are tired and they have got injuries. But surely that's down to, again, things like our manager just doing things in the right way and playing players in the right way so that we're not. Newcastle seem to have thrown everything all at once into everything. So like the Newcastle game, the Man United game, all their best players were playing in that game. Well, then you come into the next game, if you're tired, well, that's your fault for putting everything into one game. Whereas ours feel like a little bit more balanced. And it's actually something I think we've all sort of criticised the manager for, is like the lack of subs. I actually think you can see the fitness in the players now, probably because of those lack of subs. They look like they can all play well into the over the 90th minute, because they have done.
Apart from Jack Harrison on Sunday, he looked very tired.
A lot of them, the core group of them, look like they can play 95 minutes because they've had to, because they've been used to it, and maybe that's kept the injuries away. We've got a manager who understands, I think, working with a small squad at Burnley, what it takes to harness the most out of everyone, and how far you can push a player till maybe you've got to pull back on them a little bit. So it's been a great week. It's been a great week.
Dave, I mean, you've got to go up to West Ham. They were 9th to find a team that has won 7 Premier League games like Everton have done. So, like Pez just said, in normal circumstances, we'd be 2 points off a European spot at the moment, and that would be the area we'd be challenging, I think, for this season. Or certainly that's how it looks right now. And the players have just got to, and I'm sure they will, just got to continue what they're doing. Forget about the league table, haven't they? And just, we've got a game against Burnley at the weekend. It's a tough game, like you've said, but it's a winnable game. And Everton, if Everton were to win that and Forest failed to beat Spurs on Friday night, even a draw, Everton would go above Forest with a victory on Saturday night, and then Forest would be below us then, and we would have clawed, those points back on them, despite having 10 points taken off us. So that's kind of the target Everton have got to go after, isn't it? Certainly in the short term, anyway. Just those teams around us.
I think so, and going back to the point of Saturday being a winnable game, I think obviously the last 3 results, but the last 2 in particular, have proven that they're all winnable games. Because at what point do you say that they're not winnable? I mean, I'm being slightly picky in terms of I know what you mean, but they've displayed against Newcastle and against Chelsea the fact that they're a match for anybody on their day. And that's the thing that's really encouraging, and that's why we shouldn't fear anybody at the moment, And actually, when we went through these upcoming fixtures between now and Christmas, and we did that a couple of weeks ago, and I said that I hope there was points in there, and I'd looked at the likes of the Newcastle game. I'm not being all kind of predicted this at all, because I certainly didn't predict 6 points from those 2 games, but I thought that there were potentially points in there, because we do tend to play better against the better sides, which is why ironically I'm sort of slightly concerned about Saturday, but that's by the by. And they've proven that, and they have. Everyone uses the word galvanized and all this kind of stuff with what's happened to us, but it does seem to have pulled people together, and it seems to have actually got some really, really good performances out of individuals, and as a team. Ped, to your point about the fact that all of those sides above or in sort of close proximity, the idea is, as you say, just to get past some more, and put them behind us.
Yeah.
Just from the point of view, I mean, listen, on the basis that the points aren't coming back, and that is my belief.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
And they might do, and happy days, but my belief is that they won't. Is that avoiding relegation is still the target. Let's not get too carried away about things. It's still the target. But the higher up that table that we can finish, every single point, every place on that table is going to be a bonus. And if we can put another 3 or 4 sides between us and the relegation zone, that will be a remarkable achievement and a remarkable season, given what we're up against.
I mean, Pedri will be tested at the weekend. We've got, obviously, Burnley away now. They're more than beatable. They've lost 12 of the 16 games this season. So, a lot of teams have gone and beat them comfortably. But Everton will have... Looks like they're going to have 4 players missing at the weekend. Obviously, no Idrissa Gana Gay, no Jared Brandtwaite. Doesn't look like Ashley Young's going to be fit for the squad either. And Michael Keane looks like he's going to miss out as well. So, okay, we can quantify all, and Seamus Coleman. We don't know. So we could actually have 5 players who've been in the squad recently all out. We do have Amadou Onana fit again, and James Garner fit, which is big. And also we've got Ben Godfrey waiting, whether people can make whatever decision they want on Ben Godfrey, but he has had, must be noted, he has had some good games for Everton as well. He's not like he's awful. So we will be tested, won't we? Because the squad is being stretched, especially with the 2 suspensions. Won't it?
Cancel that goalkeeper's Christmas party, I'd say. You're all going on the bench by the sound of it. No, we will do, and this is always going to happen, wasn't it? With suspensions and with injuries, they're always going to catch up, especially when you have 2 games in the space of 3 days. That's always gonna. I mean, that was one of the major reliefs. I know this still sounds a bit stupid, but that's one of the major reliefs of winning on Sunday.
It was, was the buffer.
Sometimes you lose games where you also lose players in those games as well. We've had that where we've played games. It's like someone will get sent off or someone will get suspended for the next game, and you've lost the game, and it feels like it hits it hits the next few games as well. So at least we got the points on Sunday, and with the suspensions, obviously, you'll take that because you knew they were coming anyway. So for me, I mean, Onana's gone in there anyway, so Garnagate will be less. It'll just be 1 game, and it'll be a good chance for him to take. I mean, even though he's got the African nations come up, good chance for him to just take a break for 1 game. Brandtwaite's obviously slightly different because that partnership is so important, and he's good on the ball, and he's very calm, so he plays the ball out from the back, and that can allow us to get going. This is where it's going to be slightly different. It's going to be a big test for Ben Godfrey, but the manager will give him all the tools this week. If it is him, and we know that all week, then he can train
working all week
with Taki, and the singular focus is on Burnley and having a good game and doing your job as a professional footballer. Everything else will take care of itself.
If Seamus is fit, who do you think he'll go with at right back?
Seamus.
Do you?
I think so, yeah.
Just because Godfrey's out. Because Godfrey's coming in as well. So
I think he likes the experience, and I think they have got a little bit of pace on the wings, and I think he'd probably rather have Seamus in there with that little bit of experience in an away game. Not that Patterson's done anything wrong of late. I mean, it was obviously part of the team that beat West Ham away. So, no, but I do think he'd go with Seamus if he's available for this game.
Yeah. And Dave, is it as much as we want to win? And listen, I think we'd said coming into the Forest game, if we could suck 7 out of 9 points, that'd be a tremendous return. Well, we got 9 out of the 3 fixtures. Is Saturday, even though we should absolutely be going to win the game, because not only would it be like a big message to everyone around us that 4 wins on the run after that points deduction's a huge message to everybody. It obviously we're 5 ahead of Burnley. If we could beat them, it'd be 8, and that's a hell of a lot of points for a team near the bottom to try and get back up. Is it a case of if you can't win, don't lose for this one?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, was just thinking before when you were saying that, in terms of, I was wondering, was the question, is this as important now given the last 3 results? I mean, my answer would be that it's got to be as important as if we'd lost the last 3.
That definitely, yeah.
There can be no complacency at this moment. The job is far from done.
Yeah.
There's a long, hard winter to come, and to throw out other stereotypes, but there really is. And it's about where we are come the end of the season. So every single one of these points is crucial.
Let me reframe it then. We've got Spurs away and Manchester City at home, the next 2 Premier League games after this one. So is this a must win then? Because we may not get points out the 2 after that.
I don't think we do get any points out of the 2. Okay. So with that in mind, I genuinely don't.
Yeah.
And we said this before about where the possible points are coming from, and yes, I know that they're all winnable games, but I don't see us getting anything at Spurs, and I don't think as we get anything against Man City. I know they've had a bit of a wobble, but they're still superb.
Yeah.
So I think after Burnley, Wolves are our next realistic points. So with that in mind, then it is a game that they have to try and win. They shouldn't be going there and playing for a draw.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. And Ped, because it's away, and we are very good. I mean, see, I still think we're capable of getting something at Spurs as well, because I know they had a great win at the weekend, but I think Newcastle are a little bit more open than we are. And I think we can board them a little bit. But this in mind, if we were to win at the weekend, that would take a lot of pressure off those next 2 games as well. To have a return of 12 out of 12 points since that United game. Yeah. Go. I know listen, we're never going to sit here and give up points, but like Dave saying, Spurs away and City at home, 2 very difficult games, aren't they? But
no, it would be huge, wouldn't it? Me and David talking about it last week, and I was sort of saying we could take, I think I said 8 points.
You said 7, I think I said 8 or something.
Yeah, 7
like
or 8.
That,
and we was looking at it like that was obviously before the 2 games, so we've obviously got 6 already. If we get to 7 or 8, that would give us 24 points that we've actually won. And you think, well, you do that again in the second half of the season, and we should be all right. So only to only be a point behind that, or a couple of points behind that, 1 win in effect to go above that. If we could get that 1 win, then that does take the pressure off. It takes the pressure off. Takes the pressure off the league table. It takes the pressure off the players going into that Spurs game.
Yeah.
Everyone can feel
because they can go and dig in, then can't they?
And everyone can start feeling a bit more relaxed, can't they? Knowing that you've got those wins, and then Spurs, you go into a thing. Well, it's an away game. They've still got players coming back from injury. We'd be going in. Obviously, we've got the Fulham game before that next week as well, which is massively important. But it isn't a league game. Again, like the pressure's off for that because it's the cup game. And it is about just keeping ticking them off and getting results in them. And as you said, it'll be difficult because of all the stuff that surrounds it, and because it'll be built up as a 6-pointer. All these things, Burnley must win and going up against Dyche. But we just play our game like we do every time we play these away games. Then you can imagine there'll be a certain level of performance which we've seen anyway. So,
and we're better than them.
Huge. Well, we're a better team, but that doesn't always resonate.
No, of course it doesn't.
I think the other thing as well that we need to think about here is about getting points when we are the side that we are, and we're in the form that we are. Because lest we forget, if we look, we haven't got the biggest squad in the world by any stretch. And we start having some injuries come into play. And it's a whole different scenario. And a run of games at the end of Jan or in February or March or something like that, where actually you think, do you know what? It's very difficult to see this as a winnable game because we don't have, for example, Dominic, we don't have Decore, we don't have McNeil. You look at where the goals are going to come from or not come from, and we could be relying upon Danjuma or something like that, and who knows what that's going to bring, right? So therefore, I don't want to be in a situation that we've been in before where we look back and kind of go, do you know what? We should have got those 3 points. We should have got a point there, and we'd be 4 better, and we'd be in a different scenario. We've got to go.
We've already done that this season, haven't we? For the
first
absolutely.
few
home games.
Fundamentally, we need to be beating the teams that are around us.
Yeah.
That's the fundamentals of it, isn't it? They're the teams who are around us. They're the teams below us. They're the ones we should be beating. We shouldn't be allowing them to catch us. You know, Spurs and Man City, they take care of themselves. It's a different thing. But we should be beating the teams that are around us. We should be putting that marker down that we are the better side. We might be 4th from bottom, but actually in reality we're a top half table team with the points. And we need to go into that games with that. And it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Because we're looking at it as a fan. Hopefully the manager, and I think he will do, is looking at it from, this is the games you've won. Just go and give me that performance again.
Yeah, and if we can beat them, then it's the thing to them as they start looking and thinking, they're much better than we are. They're not going to be in trouble, so they start targeting other clubs. What are they like? So it's an opportunity, I think, at the weekend for Everton to go and flex the muscles a little bit and go, we just beaten 2 teams that people were saying we'd struggle against. Now we're coming and beating a team that we feel we should be beating, and it is being capable of doing that. So hopefully we can. They just very briefly, because we mightn't record again before the game. The Fulham game might be after it, but Fulham at home, they're flying at the moment. I think they just scored 13 goals in a week. But they go to Newcastle on Saturday, and I think Newcastle will beat them, to be honest. And then they come to Goodison, obviously, in the Carabao Cup. But a great opportunity for Everton to, keep the feel-good factor going and get a place in the Carabao Cup semi-finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope they do. And obviously the priority has always got to be on the league position, but a good run in the cup would be great. And nothing to fear. I know that they've been in good form. We've also been in good form. They'll be saying the same sort of things about us. Yeah, no doubt. So it looks tasty on paper, and but no fear from my point of view at all.
Saying home game, great opportunity.
It's going to be a tough game. Going to be a very tough game. They're going to be very, very confident as well. Fulham coming into that game, the scoring goals. It seems to have everything seems to clicked into place. But it's a cup game, quarter final, home. An opportunity to get into the semis, and it has to be settled on the night. So we've just got to throw everything at it that we can, I suppose, with the players that we've got available to us. But it does obviously not factor in this weekend's games into it. It does create a really interesting scenario. Obviously, we've got great defensive record. They've got a really good attacking record, so it makes for a very interesting game.
How much, when people say, a cup run helps the team and it helps the feel-good factor and all that, do you believe in that? Or because you do see teams who struggle in the league, but they do all right in the cup.
I think timing's everything, isn't it? I think we'd rather not have a game next Wednesday with all the games that are going on. But then at the flip side, you always think, well, if Everton get a good result at the weekend, and then God, you'd be flying into that Fulham game, and then if you beat Fulham, you're flying into the Spurs game, and you're just ticking them off, aren't you? Win, or whatever it is, and but on the other side of that is players. It will be another game. It will. A manager would love to have a week off, almost like he has this week, where you're just training and concentrating on getting better. Especially after you've had two games in 3 days, and you're going to get that again over Christmas. 3 games in just over a week. So it is hard. It is hard for them, but this is the you look at like the bigger sides who are, or the sides who are in Europe and whatever, they've been facing that all season. That's the difference, isn't it? If you want to be successful, you have to play lots of games. You have to have a squad that obviously shows that as well, but we don't, and we just have to take it, don't we? Just take it as it comes. Not the worst thing in the world, is it? Not the worst problem.
No, not and with our financial things at the moment, it's good that we've got another home tie and a chance for Goodison to be quite full, and I'm sure it will be, and another payday for us, because that is the way we've got to look at things right now, isn't it? And that's where we are, isn't it? That's where we're up to. So, should be very interesting, like we say, Everton in action at Burnley on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff. Just go and win, Everton.
Yeah,
It's
win.
really good. This thing of winning games, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Makes everything better, doesn't it?
But some are making things better.
Yeah.
Dave just generally makes people's lives better.
Yeah.
And one of those ways was obviously switching the lights on.
Switching the lights on.
In
true
That was
celebrity style.
that was an incredible gear change, Ped.
Mate,
I mean,
I learned from the best.
He was a taxi driver. He knows all about gear change.
I learned from the best. I listened to your...
Not indicating either.
Radio, I always indicated I wasn't one of them bastards.
Yeah.
Done me today, the prick. I learned from the likes of Dave, just listening. Just listening. So those moments.
Segues, the opportunity.
From, turning in a U-turn, going a cul-de-sac and bringing it right round.
Yeah.
So Dave did switch on the light at Bourne End, which sounds like a place from Harry Potter.
It does. It does.
What was that? What was it like seeing the joy in all the faces?
Yeah, when you were the celebrity.
When you pressed that button, Dave.
Well, I wasn't. I was comparing the stage. What they do every year, they have one of the local kids designs a Christmas light, which then goes on to the parade on the high street with their name and with the year on there, right? So my niece was the winner in 2019. So
well, that sounds a little bit.
Now. I listen. I know what you're thinking.
I thought you were bloody Paul Hardcastle then. No, 19. What happened there? Yeah.
To be fair, I wasn't involved in 2019, so it's nothing to do with me. I mean, questions could be asked about the fact that one of the councillor's daughters won it last year, but anyway, let's not go down that route. But
independent commission, you say?
Independent commission, you say? Anyway, so a local child wins the chance of designing the sign, and then so I just have to facilitate that with a plunger, and then
goes and chooses the biggest goose in the shop window. Yeah,
all of that. So no, I was just doing the stage all night, and they just had different church choirs and local dance groups from the schools and all that kind of stuff for a couple of hours, and it was all very nice. And
brilliant.
That was me. Yeah,
in that there Bourne End.
That was it. So that's my little. It seems to be like I think it's the third year I've done it now on the bounce. So
that's it. The celebrity,
Some obviously clearly the council are making full use of the 3D printer they bought a few years back to make the lights for the young child, and that's fair play.
Why not? Why not? Yeah. You've got to use these things.
This is it.
How many bulbs are there, Dave? I'm sure you must know this. How many bulbs are there?
How many bulbs?
Yeah,
that gets switched on. Is it just one tree? Is it one tree? Is it a street? Is it what is it? Give us paint a picture.
Okay, well, so there are lights hanging across the high street,
Okay, yeah.
Between the shops and whatnot, and there's lights in the trees.
By Gillian's shop. Was Gillian's shop one of them?
Gillian's shop is there, yeah.
Okay,
she's up on the left-hand side as you go in.
Yeah, excellent.
She's opposite the petrol station.
Okay.
Obviously, for those that know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's lights in the trees, there's lights hanging across, and then obviously there's a special kids light, which is unique every year, and normally involves a Christmas tree or a reindeer or a snowflake or something else of a festive nature.
Oh, of course.
That sounds excellent. I mean, Ned's trying to get in, Mr. Attention, so he can have switched the lights on as well. I mean, he hasn't. He's played a ceremony, but
Well, I mean, I think we should find. I mean, where is Ned with his Christmas story?
Have you got a crisp? Go on, Ned. We'll bring you in for a random section. Go on, give us your story.
Turning them off. I was just singing on a light at the light switch, and that was the biggest show I've ever.
Where was this?
8,000 St Helens.
Did you count?
Wow,
count
that's
8,000 people or 8,000 lights?
Isn't in the newspaper. 8,000 fans came out. I reckon.
8,000 fans came out. Fans coming out to see who turned the lights on.
Who turned the lights on?
Saints players, I think. But I played, and I was the act before 5. It was the headline. Then 5.
5 were on. So they were there to see 5.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Fair play.
But that's fair.
And also, interestingly, 5. There's now 3 of them. Isn't
3 of
there?
them. Yeah.
I remember when they said, I said, "Who's this?"
Just talk over Dave.
And they said it's 5, and I went, "Well, there's 3 of them."
Well, they were on. They done Bongos Bingo last Christmas. 5, but 3 of them.
You had a living, haven't you?
So fair play. It's you do what you do, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Dave, I wanted to again. I'm going to change gears.
Do we?
Because this question came up the other day, right? So we were watching an audience with Kylie,
Okay.
which my missus...
Was it good?
It was all right, yeah. But my missus, she tried to get tickets for this. It was at Albert Hall, and I was like, you've got no chance. She went mad because Jamie Carragher was there.
Why she having a go?
She was like, why is he there? Probably doesn't even like Kylie.
I'm sure he does, but go on.
So the first question I wanted to ask you, she asked me this question. She said, has Dave ever met Kylie?
Yes, is the answer.
I said that. Go on, give us the story.
Did she have a gold shorts on before we start?
Didn't have a gold shorts on. I've met her a few times actually, without sounding,
Clang.
like a massive clang, clang, clang.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably I don't know, 3 or 4 times I think. One of which we went backstage to. She was doing a concert somewhere in London, and I can't remember where it was, but we went there in the afternoon and we sort of saw the backstage stuff and all the outfits hanging up on the rail behind, and she gave us a little tour around. But she's very, very small.
Yes.
She's sort of pocket-sized. But she, in my experience, and you can only ever speak as you find, as I always say, but she was lovely. She was always very, very nice and very polite and nothing but good things to say about Kylie Minogue.
That's all I wanted to know. And the other thing
other
thing I wanted to ask you was, because it was one of these audience. I mean, we grew up with these audiences with, didn't we?
They used to have a lot of them, didn't they, in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, so it'd be like anyone doesn't know.
And
be
they
like
take the question.
It'd be like
you.
a normal ITV size studio. But the audience would all be celebrities from different ranges. And it was like this as well, Albert Hall. It was like the Royal Albert Hall. It was like the first 4 rows on each side of the 3 sides of the stage were all like celebrities or rent a celebrity. So Dave, have you ever been in the audience for an audience with anybody?
I haven't, unfortunately, and I wish I did, because it would have actually continued this story in a far better way. But I've never ever. But I know very much the things that you're talking about, and we've all seen them. And people like Victoria Wood, and I think Billy Connolly's done them, and and he's there in the audience, and the next question's from Sunita or Vicky Michelle from Hello or someone like that. We've all seen them before, but they've become something of an institution. But they've not happened for a while.
No, they've dried up. They were very much a 90s, 80s, 90s thing, where you get like you saying there, the big someone who's doing a bit of promo, get a lot of people in, Jimmy Tarbuck would be asking a dead funny question, or
Timmy Mallet would be there in the 6th row as well, would it?
Rod Hull and Emu.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing. Because actually, seen someone. Imagine if Rod Hull had been there with Emu. That would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, I think it also may have potentially been, an HR issue, but
these days, very much so. You couldn't. It couldn't.
Wouldn't it have been a clairvoyant needed as well, isn't he?
Well, I'm just saying in a perfect world.
Oh, of course, right.
Perfect world.
Because that would have been proof of the afterlife.
It's a situation where you really don't want to stick your beak into that, do you? It's not the right thing to do.
No.
I mean, hypothetically, I meant by that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people want to stick the beak into Kylie, I'll be honest. But there you go. There you go. So, yeah, it was good. It looked good. I mean, I haven't watched it. It's ready. It's recorded it. It's ready to watch. I do like Kylie.
No, my missus, she absolutely loves him. Loves it to the point where she was, I think, sneakily wanted to go to Vegas to see it, because she's doing a residency in Vegas, and it's ridiculous. The prices are ridiculous. And it's only like an hour, and they won't even let you stand up or anything, or even dance. So there's all kinds of nonsense. I said, she'll be on, whatever. But she did say to me, she said, Dave ever met Kylie? I was like, I bet he has. You
can tell Sam that I have.
He was Mr. Showbiz back in the day. You know what I mean? Till he decided he wanted a quiet life.
That was it.
He decided.
Now he's switching lights on again. He's defo.
On the air with Mark Rowan. He was last week as well.
I'm on the air.
Mark Rowan. That's who was on.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So Mark Rowan got a visit, and we did Mark Rowan. Say the name to yourself. Mark Rowan.
Listen.
Mark's all right, by the way.
I know he is, and I know you're taking the mic. But anyway, the reason we were up there on official EFL business.
Of course, easy fucking dinner. Life, EFL, there you go.
Absolutely.
Pardon my French.
No.
No, we sound Mark. They were a thing of just bringing back memories there of them, like the guitar playing or on the piano, and then. But take a question from you.
Who was on the piano and who was on the guitar? Sorry,
I can remember Victoria Wood distinctly being on the aisle, giving it the
Because
piano.
another
See,
reason
she's who I think of with those things.
Yeah,
definitely.
me
And
too,
Billy
yeah.
Connolly,
Billy Connolly, yeah.
because there's been,
But they do have they have had some singing. I'm trying to think.
because I've noticed
of
this week, there's
yeah.
another reason. Like I've used to notice the emergence of these Cilla Black videos
Only
on
from
Twitter.
one
Dave, have you
you've probably
seen this?
put in our group.
No.
Oh, you want so on Twitter, now known as X. I think it's more of a TikTok thing, but people have gone back and found these clips of Cilla when she used to, whatever she used to do, whether it was, it wasn't
Blind date.
Blind Date, it was the other one she did.
Surprise,
wasn't it?
surprise.
She used to do these like segments where she'd have like a music video. She'd obviously do a copy of another song and then come up with some clever music video. They're all absolutely horrendous. Like there's one where she's playing football and there's two teams and she's not wearing the kit of either, but for some reason is wearing a Liverpool kit with a Liverpool tracky top on that I know people in this building would kill for now if they could get their hands on the tacky top. And they're just so weird, and people have just started regurgitating them. But again, it just shows you that period in time. They're just so. Like she was like the biggest thing on TV, and they are so bad.
She was fighting in a ring with a kid. She was boxing a kid.
Having a fight in a ring,
punching a kid.
Would you not think that this is potentially the territory that if anybody was to bring it back and make it more 2023 or indeed 2024, it would be somebody like Jane McDonald? Do you not think that she could take over?
She got
that
the clout.
mantle? I don't know.
She got the.
I mean,
clout.
she would suggest yes.
I've just watched Jane McDonald recently in Japan, and it was excellent. It was really good, and she comes across as a lovely person. She can sing.
Maybe Cilla was ahead of the curve with the fighting. Maybe she was like she could see the YouTubers coming down the lane,
and she was all
like,
them, yeah.
So it'd be like if she was still alive, it'd be like Cilla versus KSI. I could see that.
Yeah,
Cilla Killer.
Cilla Killer, yeah.
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury versus
probably
Cilla.
wouldn't even be able to beat her.
Well, possibly. Surprise, surprise! As she knocks him out. Fucking Kirby kiss straight on him. Take that. Not that'd be a different one.
Air versus Emu. That'd be something.
Air versus Gary Barlow would be good. She kicked straight out of Barlow. Battle of the Story. What was I going to say then? Can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, Cilla.
Yeah,
Cilla Black. No, they are mad them. They are mad just how they got them doing though. How she was just, this is a good idea. I'll put this shell suit on and box this kid in a ring. And everyone's like, yeah, that looks all right.
And that was the height of entertainment in the 80s, early 90s.
She was killing it, wasn't she? She had obviously Blind the Date. That's what Graham used to say.
Blind used to say that.
Date.
Graham, Blind the
Graham.
Date.
Yeah, Blind the
It
Date.
never needed two D's, did it?
He didn't need to go double
like
D,
Grandad.
Graham.
It's like it's not Grandad.
Yeah, that was it. I don't
Blind
know.
the Date.
Maybe he
Blind
just
date.
loved double D, Graham. He was a bit hit after all. Let's get on to some of the random questions.
What's going on?
Hang on, is this not the? Is this sorry? Are we
No,
still
this
in the
was that was a serious scripted section.
I've got a teleprompter.
I've got a teleprompter here with it all on. That's Dave. Random questions.
Dave, you're laughing. We did buy a teleprompter.
We have got one. We used to have
It came from LA. I'm so excited to
talk about eight. I think bleeding Cilla Black's ghost brought her here. It's been took weeks to get here. Like you might have had some of these last week, so you're gonna have to tell me if you had them.
Don't use like the top 5. Just go up from under.
Oh, okay.
We were short and meticulous when.
So did you do the "Are you feeling ho ho ho" or no?
Don't know, but don't use that because it's rubbish.
That's harsh.
No, it's rubbish.
Would you rather who would you rather face in a charity boxing match from Glen? Did you do that one?
What would
A, Santa. Yeah. B, the Easter Bunny. C, the Tooth Fairy. D, Pudsey Bear. And what would be your ring walk music?
No, we didn't do this. So
okay.
read that out.
So go on then.
I'll let Dave do that one first.
Who would you rather face in that scenario? And you can't put Cilla.
So hang on, it was Pudsey Bear, it was the Easter Bunny, it was Santa Claus,
or the Tooth Fairy. Feels like he's gone very much like Santa Claus, the Santa Claus movie, Glenn. Apart from he's added Children in Need's Pudsey Bear in there. So who would you fancy? Who could you say?
I'm going to say the Easter Bunny, I think.
Ooh. Okay.
Because I just find the Easter Bunny just a little bit pointless. You know, I don't really understand the point of it. So I'm going to say the Easter Bunny, and my walk-on music would obviously be the same as I walked down the aisle to my wedding first time round, which was Z-Cars.
Z-Cars.
Fair play to you.
Fair play.
I'm going to go for Pudsey because he's only got one eye.
That is a
So
shout.
he's already at a
He's at a disadvantage.
there you
Hit
go.
the
It's
other-
already-
work
yeah.
on the other eye,
Just
jab.
working on jab the
Just
other
jab
eye.
him.
And once that's closed over, he'll need a bleeding bandana on both of them, won't he?
I mean, you've gone there.
So, you know what I mean? I'd go straight for it. And also, you only see him once a year. So obviously, he's not going to be keeping himself into shit. You want to fight him, I'd say March, where he's got his feet.
I'll be honest, you're only seeing all of them once a year, aren't you, really?
No, but that's I'm just saying for him in particular.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like Father Christmas, there's a big month period.
Mind you, the Tooth Fairy, if you eat a lot of sweets, then you could be seeing him all
I
the
wouldn't
time.
want to be fighting anyone called the Tooth Fairy.
No.
Like he could be like Glenn, the Tooth Fairy bastard or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going for Pudsey. Pudsey, to be fair to him, looks a big shit house, doesn't he? Looks a big cowardly
I don't know.
shit house.
I don't know.
With a bandana on his eye. I'm going for the other one, and I'm walking out to. Let me think what I'm walking out to. Something, I don't know.
Kylie Minogue, I'm spinning around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
there
he'd be
you go.
spinning his head
I'll be
around.
spinning his head around the little
Or hair head.
beard.
Could be a hair.
There is a
Could be
female.
either.
Is there a female
There's a
Pudsey?
female.
What's her name?
Pidsey, I don't-
Okay. All right. I'm going Santa.
Santa, yeah.
As much as I like Santa,
Yeah.
there's the redness of it,
Yeah.
of the suit, obviously, which can get you fired up, especially if Cilla Black's been modelling it. And also, he's not in the best shape. You know, you've got to take that into account.
But he's got like Ned's physique, hasn't he?
Yeah. There's moves going on and everything. So I think I'd have to take Santa on. Walkout music. Add confusion by having Shakey's Merry Christmas, everyone. For no reason other than I just couldn't think of a song, so I've gone with that. So there you go.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
It's too late for this year, sadly. But I'm
Yeah.
just thinking in terms of Toffee TV merch, and this
Okay.
is maybe something for next year.
Yeah, come on.
Seeing as we've somewhat missed the boat by 12 days this year,
Yeah.
could you bring out a Ned vent calendar? You know, which would be all like it would be Ned
Yeah.
dressed up in a festive suit, and obviously all the way through the Nedvent calendar, then there would be maybe chocolates or something like that. You know,
That's
it's just
tremendous.
an idea.
Well, two things. I
And
mean,
open it, and there's got to be like phrase of the day from Ned behind every door.
we
Yeah.
we actually told Ned the other day that, well, I said to him I think he'd actually found the Santa Claus because of his because just the way he was looking on that particular day, and then he walked in a couple of days ago and had announced to everyone that he'd put on a stone, which was
really?
confirming to me that he has got the Santa Claus. Someone has fallen off his roof and he's going to have to take over. But I actually think next year, Dave, and again, feel free to jump in on this. I think Ned should be in the jungle. The jungle's obviously just finished. I didn't watch a minute of it.
I
but
think Dave needs to be in it too.
Dave, but I just think Ned would be. He would be an X factor in there.
Be a something factor.
Do you know?
I would like to see him in there. I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't see any of the jungle this year on the basis that Tony Bellew was superb. And
Yeah, he
obviously
was.
It was
He
great
was.
to have him
He
in
was.
there,
He was.
jumping up and down.
I've never
obviously
heard
having
Everton
found
mentioned
out.
so many times.
I've
so
seen
good.
I've seen those clips.
When his missus went in was hilarious. Everton beat Newcastle 3-0. And one more thing. Where's the plug for the Lecky toothbrush? I mean, you're just not getting that normally, are you?
No,
You weren't, you know, Marvin had his missus sat on his knee, and to be fair, he didn't want to let it go. Fair play. But Tony was fully Evertoned up, so
Yeah,
fair play.
to him.
It'd be interesting seeing Ned in that environment.
What I like about it, remember when Big Brother done, and I think she ended up winning, didn't she? What was her name? Where they put the girl in.
Oh,
Chantel,
Chantel.
was it? Who ended up putting
What,
it on.
she was the one that went out with him out of the
Non-celebrity.
Ordinary Boys.
Yeah,
didn't she?
Yeah.
Who got
Dry
massively
your eyes,
embarrassed
mate,
on
was it him?
never mind
Oh,
the
he was-
Buzzcocks,
he was
didn't he? Got
terrible
badly
in
out
all,
off
wasn't
by Mark Lamar, I think.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she went in, didn't she? And it was they pretended that she was a
famous.
celebrity.
I think they should do that to me.
Do that with Ned.
I think they should
Yeah.
do it to me.
I don't.
Pretend I'm famous.
No, I
Put
don't
me
think
in.
you'd last 5 minutes in the jungle.
No, I wouldn't. I would last until I got sent to do trial. Then I'd be fucked. I'll be honest.
Where is Ned?
The only trial I could have done, and Tony Bellew did make me laugh with this one, was when he was saying he knew Sam would win when the the public gave Sam frogs. Everyone else had snakes and everything. Sam got frogs. Those kind of like trials, I'm all right. But the one when Marvin and that had to sit there with the Christmas food falling on them, them things that don't involve creatures, I'd be all day with. I struggle.
You've already announced that now.
I love creature. Put me in with spiders and snakes.
Announced that.
Dream.
Where is Ned? Ned?
We don't know. Ned wouldn't be scared. The thing is, though, he wouldn't be scared of that stuff. So
I honestly believe if Ned went in the jungle, he would become an overnight sensation in this
there's
country.
Carl Pilkington.
I genuinely believe that, and I'm not even messing when I say that. There are people who just go on TV and suddenly it just goes bang, and we've had it with like Alison Hammond and Ryland and people like that. Ned's next. Ned's next.
Neither of them been in the jungle, but
No, but they've been on TV shows.
TV shows.
I think you're right, though. I think genuinely that Ned does have all of the component parts to make him a national treasure overnight. Genuinely, and it sounds
honestly,
like a piss take.
There are people out there.
No, I agree.
These shows do open the door to real people to become real stars, and Ned's next.
Yeah, fair play.
Just needs that exposure.
He just needs the thing.
I know he does like exposing himself.
He does.
He needs that exposure.
He would have been. Ned wouldn't have been out of place doing the cyclone the other night, Dave, because he does come in sometimes with trackies that basically are like the gold shorts that Farage had on, where you can see.
He had green shorts on, didn't he, Farage?
Green. I'm colourblind. He had some kind of shorts on.
He had green shorts on because Tony had red ones.
Tony had red ones. He was fuming, wasn't he?
The lads did him, obviously, with the Newcastle result.
Yeah. So Ned does try to think he's got gold lycra or green lycra shorts and no bills on. That is what he.
Interestingly, on that front then, and only because it's right in front of my eye line now, is that when I look at Ped's picture, there is what looks like a coffee mug, is it? Like a thermosy thing.
There you go. Yeah.
Now that's made up of two colours, one being gold and one being green.
Yeah.
Now, can you not see the difference between them?
Yeah, I can there. I can. I can see the shades and I know that the top it's gold. It's if it was all one colour. No, I'll be honest. I would struggle to tell you what the bottom colour is if that was all one colour. Okay. Not that I can't see it,
but if it was all one colour, it would be one colour. There wouldn't be a bottom colour.
Yep, I meant if the bottom colour was the whole thing. If you went, what colour is that? I might guess it's green, but I couldn't 100% tell you that that's green.
It's not green.
Why are you like laughing at it? It's a disability. Why are you laughing at a disability?
Not green, no. What day?
Wasn't there a gold and blue scenario with a dress a few years ago?
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
where certain people saw it as gold and certain people saw it as like a dark blue.
Maybe it was blue.
Baz thought it was a coat.
I thought it was white. Yeah, no, there is things. It's like there's certain colours. I can, I understand what colours are, know what colours are, but some of them, some of them I can't differentiate, and others I couldn't tell you what the colour is.
Fair play to you.
Know what I mean? Zach used to get very, very upset when I used to say colourblind. Now I'm all right with snooker.
Okay.
Although the brown and the red at the far end sometimes is a bit of a tough one. Okay. Green and brown, no issue.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you do feds? Have you ever received an awkward Christmas, receiving or giving experience whereby your reaction or the recipient?
We had this one last week.
And he had 57 seconds continuous we done that the week before. 57?
Yeah.
That's a good, mind you, in the morning. It could be that, mind you wouldn't. You'd be 6 times in the night.
Sit down,
No, I've stopped going in the night now.
Good. Have you withdrew it back?
No, because I've started drinking non-caffeine tea.
Yeah, that's good.
Solved the problem.
Yeah, told you this.
Not that I got up anyway. I just was in pain all night.
Oh, okay. Mark.
So hang on. So what? So the caffeine makes you pee?
Yeah. So I was getting
diuretic, Dave.
I was getting really bad pains. Obviously, needed to go to the toilet. But was I bugger getting out of bed, especially these months? And yeah, all it is if you cut back on if you get rid of the caffeine, stop drinking caffeine tea. And I don't know why you'd have caffeinated tea. Actually, there's just no need for it. There's no difference in taste or anything. So I started drinking non-caffeine tea.
You know that's all I drink.
That's
I
interesting.
Drink decaf.
It's not the volume.
No,
so it's not the volume of liquid.
No,
that makes
it isn't. Honestly,
it's the.
And I realised that because on a Friday and a Saturday night, I don't tend to have a cup of tea. I have a non-alcoholic beer, or a glass of Coke.
And you don't get up.
And
with
I wasn't feeling the pain. Because it wasn't like needing to go to the toilet, it was like pain.
Is it your kidney pain?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, like, yeah.
No, that's what it is.
So I thought, right, that must be it. And it solved it. There you
Good
go.
lad. Well, there you go.
There you go.
One question. What do you typically do when you're bored?
Right. So, this is a new thing for me.
Got excited.
Dave, you're going to think this is the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know.
I'm not
you
even
are.
sure this is the weirdest thing on the podcast. No, but carry on.
So listen to this, Dave. So you may or may not know us here at Toffee TV. We are huge gamers. We love our games. Me and Baz have had consoles through the years. We've just, we love them. We love getting stuck into our games. You know, whether it be GTA, The Last of Us, Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, whatever it is. I've just finished Spider-Man 2. Now I know a lot of this stuff can be lost. Now, Dave, you seem to me like a guy who obviously you have to get up early for the mornings. You're out there DJing. I imagine you may have missed out on this thing.
He's missed it.
I've never ever been into gaming.
There you go.
But I don't know why that is, because plenty of my friends are into gaming, and I'm of the right generation to be into gaming. But for whatever reason, it's just never really done it for me, and it's not to do with being too busy. It's not a job thing. It's not a lifestyle thing. It's just never really interested me, and I've had the opportunities and just not my bag.
You just missed the boat and that's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he's missed out, but memo.
The thing about now is that there's like the games are expensive and you're waiting for that one game. And when you get it, it takes over your life for a few weeks, if not months.
I can understand that. Yeah.
So I'm in between games at the moment. Yeah. So I think Baz is in a similar thing.
I'm just finishing Forbidden West.
Or you're in a thing where you've got loads of TV to watch, so you don't play on games.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And then you go back to the games because you know the game's going to take over your life. So on PlayStation, you have to pay a certain amount a year to go on play online games and stuff. But you get so many games free with that for the year. They're like games that are typically being out a few like 6 months or other. The other day I was listening to a podcast, I think it was like IGN, and they were talking about this game called Power Wash Simulator. So I saw it was free, so I went and downloaded it. Now this game, Dave, is basically you jet wash things.
Okay.
You jet wash things. So you start by jet wash.
This is going to put you into consoles, Dave.
You jet wash things,
Absolutely.
right? You jet wash your van first, and then you start taking on like jobs. And so I had to jet wash someone's back garden, and then I had to go and jet wash.
So to speak.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So on Saturday night,
Ned needs this because he gave us a detailed thing.
I've gone, right, I'm just going to switch this on and have a little go. I thought, I'll have a little half an hour on this, and then I might throw a film on or a show or something. 2.5 hours later, I am still jet washing this backyard, and I am loving it, by the way. I am loving it.
I mean, in many ways, I'd imagine your missus probably wish you were having an affair.
Yeah.
So I'm jet washing it. She's falling asleep. It's all good. You can hear it. You're outdoors, so you can hear the birds and the wind, and it's like ASMR, and you're jet washing, and I'm looking at me watch, and it's 2.5 hours later. And
you just get lost in it.
So last night I'm playing it again, and she's looking at me and she's thinking, you're mad.
Weird,
and I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. It's so calming. It relaxes you so much. And she just went to me, yeah, those fucking dishes had fucking relaxed the
those dishes would relax me if you went and washed them.
And I was just thinking, how weird is it that a task that you just wouldn't do, I certainly wouldn't do it, and yet I'm sitting here playing on a PlayStation, which I could be playing so many different things, and I'm jet washing a back garden.
It's better than getting chased by zombies, though, which just stresses you, doesn't it?
But have you ever tried actual jet washing?
I have,
like
and it is quite
jet washing.
It is quite satisfying.
It can be, yeah.
It is quite satisfying, just getting out when the winter stopped and going out in the yard and spraying it down and everything. But this is like a different level.
I was doing. I mean, Dad's got one of those cartridges, the spray thing, and I was doing our path last year. But I was doing it with me slides on because you get splashed, don't you?
It was splashback.
But it went like that and hit me foot. Oh my God, the pain.
Oh, you know about it, don't you?
You know about you do know about it. That is a punishment.
So I just thought, but what a weird thing is to do.
You couldn't wait to get back to it, look. He's thinking about it.
Because last night, the minute she was like,
the minute she don't love you, look tired, go and lay down.
No, she wasn't. She had to do some work. Because she's actually had to go into work today. Okay. Jesus Christ. First time she had to go to work for 3 3 years. And even work.
Into the office, she does work.
She's
She
gone
hasn't
today,
stopped working.
genuinely. Ashworth.
Has she?
First time back at work for like 2.5 years. She's had to go to Ashworth.
I played at Ashworth once, did I tell you
anyway,
that?
no. Is it mad?
Played on my...
So...
think about it though, went in to play football in Ashworth.
So
Absolutely.
she's going, I've got to finish some work. Oh, have you, yeah? And I'm like, get it. I'm like, Dad, I can't wait. It's like...
Switched on immediately.
I'm jonesing for it.
Oh my God, you're terrifying. Right, a couple more before we go. What a story. Get it.
It's amazing. It's amazing I've never been into
Dave,
gaming, isn't it?
You know what though, right? No, I mean, just park the jet wash for a minute, because that might be all right. But you look like someone I think who would like gaming. I don't, I'm not saying you, but I just mean like that's because
streaming. I can see Dave
I can see him at the cans on streaming.
But
there's games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Dave, which is unbelievable, mate. A Western. It's absolutely
I agree.
brilliant.
I think,
and when you get into them, it's boss.
All of the component parts are there for me to be a gamer. But I'm just not, or at least I'm certainly not yet. Maybe it's something I'll do when I get into my 40s or something. But it is
it is an issue when you're only 30.
It'll keep you sharp as you do get into midlife. It will these things will keep you sharp.
It's what you need.
You're an advantage over us because you've still got that to come.
Yeah, he's only being early 30s.
You know what I mean?
Still
got that to come.
Mid-30s, technically.
Just about mid-30s. Must have had a fucking hard milk round. That's all I'll say. What's one thing you?
Did anyone have a milk round in Hong Kong?
No.
Fair enough.
Well, or I didn't anyway. I don't know of it.
Yeah, he wasn't out there looking. What's one thing your dog could say that would completely ruin your image of him if he could talk?
If he could talk, what I would dislike him.
It'd ruin your image of him.
Oh, I don't know.
Because obviously you look at your dog and like, he's boss, look at him and all, but what would you say? Like, if he said something like, Kenny's boss, like, Kenny's ugly, fucking boss.
Just had the leg up in the air and he went, you can't do this, can you? You're not bed.
That'd ruin it. Not if he was like...
And he'd be right.
Mo Salah's the man.
He'd be right, yeah. No. He'd be like, me and Prince.
Fair play.
I don't think there's anything that my dog could do, certainly.
He could say it wouldn't ruin your image of him if he could talk. No. What if he spoke like Ned? Because Loki's a powerful dog, isn't he? He's a powerful dog. If you walked in and you just went, "All right, Dad, what was work like today?" What I mean, would that ruin your image of him in your head?
Yeah, I'd be like, get back to barking.
Yeah, you're not allowed. You're not allowed anymore. Dave, what is the most hilarious fact you know?
I mean, that's
a big question.
Is that one to ruminate on?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll come back.
Most hilarious fact that I know.
We'll come back to that then.
When you say come back, do you mean like
next
in January or February?
Next week.
Right, okay, yeah.
Next, you got a week.
Come back to it.
As a kid, did you ever have an imaginary friend?
No, but I made up an imaginary island.
Okay.
Like an imaginary holiday place.
Oh, that sounds boss.
What's to put someone off the scent, or just somewhere where you wanted to go?
It was just part of my imagination, to the point that friends of my mum and dad's thought that this place was real. So it was just like a little island, like, you might have had, I don't know, Menorca or somewhere like that. It was just a little island, and it was called Salamea, and it had some nice beaches and stuff. And people said, this place, Salamea, that you went to, like, Dave told us about it. Sounds great. And I just looked at them like, and I just completely made it up. It was just a total figment of my imagination. And I drew maps of it in school.
Sounds amazing.
That does sound amazing.
Well, yeah, and people genuinely, as I say, actual real life grown-ups,
real life grown-ups.
They kind of said, this place that you went on holiday with, sounds great. Your Dave was telling us about it. And I just look at them, kind of thinking, never heard of Salamea. It was all made up, completely fictitious.
Okay, it was just before we finish. No, I don't think so. Before we finish, then just give us. Sorry, we're just live watching. We're live watching Ped's dog to see if he's going. I wonder what time Dad's home.
If he's all right. Just checking if he's all right. He looks all right.
He looks chilled. Dave, so give me to finish, because I think, we know that we've kept you. Just to finish, pretend you are a travel agent, and me and Ped are looking for a break for a few days to get away from Ned, because Ned has now started.
We're going on one of Andy Bush's cruises.
We are, but Ned started barking because Loki's took his voice. Right, and we need a little break. So we've come in to speak to you, and you're recommending Salamea to us. So, paint the picture for us, which had real life grown up adults questioning if this was real and wanting to go there. So what kind of things would you say to people that it was like? Sell us on Salamea.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cass. The reason why you should go to Salamea is that it is a beautiful and unspoilt island. It has fantastic weather. It's got palm trees. It's got about 3 or 4 really world-class beaches, so great for water sports, for sunbathing. It's got some amazing hotels as well, so the accommodation and the facilities for all visitors is first class. It really is just a fantastic place to go to. And if you want to have your perfect holiday island, I would say that Salamea is a place for you.
What's the climate like?
Hot.
Hot. Hot.
And dry.
Hot and dry.
Hot and dry.
Okay.
Yeah, which is how I like my climate.
That's how you like your climate, hot and dry. Hey, fair play. That sounds.
Did you have many friends as a youngster, Dave?
Well, now when you point it out, the more I think about it, the more slightly odd that it may have been to have completely had this made-up fantasy island. I mean, maybe it was.
Did it have a little fella going, the plane?
This is it, because perhaps not entirely unconnected to that is that Fantasy Island was quite a favourite program of mine. That being,
what, when you were minus 8 or 9
UK Gold?
Did you just?
Oh, sorry.
I
was
the
obviously
reruns.
watching it on. Yeah, you're right. I was obviously watching it on catch up. Thing.
Yeah, years later,
Magnum PI and the Fall Guy.
Mr. Rourke.
Magnum was amazing. And what was the other one? Heart to Heart. Stephanie beats him.
Heart to Heart.
Yeah. But anyway, so go on back to Fantasy Island. The plane.
Yeah, the plane, Mr. Rourke.
Yeah.
So maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, I do think maybe it was a bit strange to make up an entirely fictitious island. But
it sounds amazing.
But I did.
It sounds amazing.
Sounds amazing.
Pet, did you ever have an imaginary friend?
No, I don't think I don't. I don't think I did. But it's a bit like the In and Out thing, isn't it? Where Bing Bong. You've seen In and Out, surely, the Pixar film.
Yeah.
With Bing Bong.
Yeah, I have seen it.
Where it's like, once they're forgotten and they're forgotten, you never remember them again. Like dreams, aren't they?
Yeah.
No. I think I once had... Do you remember Chucky? Do you ever remember the show Chucky?
Yeah.
About the boy who could hear the alien, and it was horrible.
No, you had Chucky.
I think I had a bit of that once, and that was a bit disturbing. But I think
voices in your head.
But I think it was based off because I'd watched too much Chucky.
I think so.
It was disturbing.
I think so.
Or there is an alien invasion happening, and I am the Covenant for it. I don't know. Maybe. That was a scary pro. Not like me see kids programs today and go, it seems a bit scary for him. No, this was a kid who had heard voices of an alien and he saw visions of aliens taking over our planet. Yes, on a Half-4 on CITV. Scary.
Fair.
Dave would have missed all of this.
All of that.
Rugrats was the first thing he caught on
yeah, he was
Nickelodeon, wasn't he?
Nickelodeon. That was sharp on Nickelodeon.
My era,
absolutely,
wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Club with Britney Spears.
Well, they've all been Christina Aguilera. I'm gonna get dirty. Ned.
Hey, she's on the Just Eat adverts now. She's done well, hasn't she?
She is, Christine. Yes, she hasn't put her chaps on, no, sadly. Ned, to finish, because we are going to finish now. We don't know what's going on here. Did you ever have an imaginary friend? Because you seem to me like you might have.
No, of course
No? Okay, I'm just asking you.
He said that.
And he's smiling now.
Just had friends.
You just had friends?
Yeah.
That no one else could see.
Han.
Who?
And Leia.
Han and Leia and Luke.
Right.
You didn't... Hang on, sorry, Ned. You did not discover Star Wars till you were about 19, so don't give me any of that chat.
Did you have
Ned,
did you have an imaginary friend, yes or no?
No.
No. Okay, that was all I wanted to know.
I don't believe you.
Hey, we can't prove it.
We don't know. I just don't believe it.
Let's just leave it.
You had lizards.
He's got lizards.
Did you have any imaginary lizards?
No.
Okay.
Did you have any imaginary dragons?
I had one of them.
See what you've done there, Dave?
One of them, like, all-in-one things where it's like a bed at the top and then, like, loads of shells underneath.
Yeah.
And I turned it into a zoo once and put like, all my toys in different And pretended they were like, because my dad had his own vivariums with lizards in, I wanted my own, so I put like dinosaurs in.
So he had imaginary lizards then, just but toys you want them to come. Fair enough. Sounds good. It sounds good. Dave had an imaginary island and you turned your bed into a zoo. I don't think there's a better way to finish than that. Dave, thank you very much. As always, top man. Everybody give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. If you were listening to the podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and share
and share alike. It's Christmas. It's the season of goodwill.
There you go.
Start sharing like Alan Shearer. See you later.